Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre. Hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode, we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond. Sometimes, even from that pesky old beyond. You can find us on YouTube and on Instagram at Terror in Tandem, and you'll always find our latest episode on our website, terrorintandem.com.
That's it.
That is it. That's all the things.
You may have noticed the cadence of our episodes. We're doing a slower summer.
A little
it's
bit.
called a slow summer of slashers.
Yeah, it's called Hot Slow Summer. It's we're just doing it every other week, folks.
Yeah, it's called Blood Dripping American Summer.
It's called Working Title Under Discussion.
It's called We're Just Doing Our Best here.
Fucking tired.
Yeah. Well, no,
What do you want
just
from us,
doing our
people?
best.
What do you want from us? We're desanguinated,
Yeah, we're doing our best.
desiccated.
I don't know why all the angry letters have
Oh
to
my
keep
God. The phone lines
happening.
are just exploding. The switchboard is lighting up.
Our switchboard operator has left the room.
She has
Literally left the room.
is just sitting in a sunbeam away from it all.
You can't keep revealing who our
I just
switchboard operator
doxed
is.
our engineer. So today I thought, since July's coming up,
No, this is our monthly episode.
yay!
It's time for what we recommend you go see in the month of July.
Or as other people have all been calling it, the greatest recommendations anyone's ever given about anything.
Sure.
Yeah, lots of people are saying that.
Our definitely our phone
Many
operator.
people are saying it.
Oh, look at the phone lines. They're lighting up.
Lighting up.
Excuse me, can we take
we
some of these
really
calls?
need some help.
Seriously though, we are doing our best. No, we're doing better than our best.
Yeah,
You're lucky. You get better than our best.
just gold
Everybody else in our lives just gets our level best.
dripping from your earphones.
But no, we
We shower you with gold.
we're going to be recommending what is coming from July.
Yay.
What's coming up in horror for July and what you should see, read, do, and otherwise.
All the scariest stuff out there that is still somehow less scary than reality.
Yeah, of course.
Huzzah! Do you want to go first or do I?
I think you should go first.
Oh, goodness. Well, chronologically, and also in terms of, like, I don't know,
Mine aren't going to be chronological, but
bigness, I'm going to just start off with a bang with Maxine.
Oh,
That's
right.
Maxine, because there's 3 X's. I just got that.
you did?
No.
Oh.
So that's coming out in theaters July 5th from director Ty West. And yeah, it's the third in the surprising trilogy started with X. And I say surprising because that wasn't really a movie I thought would become a trilogy. And yet here we are. Now, X was amazing and starred Mia Goth as Maxine Minx, burgeoning adult film actress, and with dreams of becoming more than that. However, she is the only survivor of a massacre that takes place in Texas, and the second movie in the trilogy, which was filmed secretly during the pandemic, is called Pearl, and that follows also Mia Goth, who played 2 roles in X, as Maxine Minx and as Pearl, the old lady who kills everybody. So in Pearl, it takes place in like the 19-teens or 20s, like real 1920s. And she is, going crazy. And it's also amazing. It's a very
Doesn't
different movie.
In X, the old lady kills everybody.
She
too?
sure does.
Is that Pearl?
That's Pearl. And the movie Pearl is about her as a young girl.
Okay.
And it's played by Mia Goth. And it's awesome. It's like a weird fever dream of a movie of this person going nuts, and you watch everything kind of through their distorted perception.
So Maxine is the in-between stage?
Nope.
Okay.
So Maxine is a direct sequel to X.
Okay.
Picks up
That's the
several
one I
years
did
later.
see.
Yes.
After she survives.
Picks up several years later. Now, Maxine has made it to Los Angeles, and she has become a successful adult star, and she's about to break into the mainstream, which is not something that happens too often. Now,
I think Tracy Lords is probably one of the only actresses that has really ever done that.
yeah, and most of her work had to be deleted and expunged because she was underage when she filmed most of her pornographic work. Yikes. So Anyway, Jesus. And Maxine, so Maxine Minx is in Los Angeles. She's about to break into mainstream film, and she is being stalked by the Night Stalker. That is actually, in the movie, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. So in real life, the Night Stalker was a vicious monster who beat, degraded, kidnapped, tortured, and murdered loads of people. He killed at least 13 that we know about.
If you look, I mean, he was tall. He had that like sort of 70s, you know, like lanky, hippie look.
He's a big, scary.
Lots of people know who the Night Stalker
bad
is.
Person.
He's a pretty famous serial killer.
Now, the Night Stalker, not to explain their crimes, but if you're wondering, how could somebody become a monster like that? Well, his dad used to beat the shit out of him, and as punishment would tie him to a cross and leave him overnight in a cemetery. So, you know, that might have had something to do with it. But this movie is kind of like Inglourious Basterds, where it's like playing, or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it's playing a little bit with history. So she's being chased by the actual Night Stalker, but also some elements from her past, I think, are starting to come up. And this movie has a much bigger budget and a much bigger cast. Now that X is a bona fide mainstream success, which blows my mind, to be honest. I never imagined that these really cool, weird movies from A24 and Ty West, of all people, would become like huge successes, but they are, and they're awesome. And Mia Goth is incredible. She co-wrote Maxine with West, so she's really into this character. Anyway, it looks amazing. It's got Kevin Bacon, Bobby Cannavale, Halsey, Giancarlo Esposito, Lily Collins. Yes, that is Phil Collins' daughter. Elizabeth Debicki and Michelle Monaghan. So yeah, much bigger cast.
Yeah.
I am all for it. I can't wait to see this. It just premiered at the Chinese Theater in LA. And it looks great. I am all in on the X-averse. I would like more. West says he's developing a fourth film. I want an animated feature about Howard's time in World War I, for sure. I would like a miniseries with Pearl and Howard just murdering people like in the 1930s. And maybe a video game where you get to play as Kid Cudi's enormous penis, just trying to escape.
Yikes.
Flopping around. So, Maxine, July
Excellent.
5th.
Yeah.
Bring
Serial
in
killer.
America's birthday with Maxine.
Serial killer. I have a serial killer movie that I want to recommend too.
Yeah, you do.
It's called Longlegs, and it comes out July 12th.
Oh, I'm aware.
And it's written and directed by Osgood Perkins, who goes by Oz. He's an actor sometimes, but mostly of late a writer and director.
Oh, he's made such good movies.
He's written and directed I'm the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House from 2016 and The Black Coat's Daughter, which I really liked,
Love
from
that
2015. Movie. He also recently directed Gretel and Hansel in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the son of famous actor Anthony Perkins from Psycho fame.
Yes, he is. And a genius, a really talented, gifted, methodical filmmaker that just gets under your skin and really haunts you.
So I think that this movie is going to do that as well, starring Nicolas Cage, Maika Monroe, who's like our Tara and Tandem darling of horror.
Absolutely.
Alicia Witt, so he's good to see her, and Blair Underwood.
Heck yeah.
So Longlegs is basically, I guess, Osgood Perkins uses the actors' like performance and locations and the cinematography to really create the sense of dread. Maika Monroe's performance specifically, she's an FBI agent named Lee Harker. She is sort of the FBI agent who deals with supernatural forces. And
like Scully.
The film itself follows the inner like life and thoughts of Harker. So it takes place really from her lens and inside of her head. And basically it takes the idea of an investigator who has a connection with the killer and makes it a little bit more like relatable. She's tracking a satanic serial killer in the 90s who leaves coded messages and symbols at every crime scene, and they've determined the name is Longlegs, and that's played by Nicolas Cage. And they, in the theater, sorry, in the trailers, you will see that you don't actually see Nicolas Cage's face or actually the long legs monster of it all, because they're purposefully leaving any physical details of Nicolas Cage. I think you saw his eyes in one trailer, but they're leaving it out of the trailers because they want to allow for the theatrical reveal, because it's supposed to be really unnerving and pretty scary. So, yeah.
I'm super psyched about this. Nicolas Cage.
What else can you say about it? You know, you don't want to say too much. You don't want to give too much away. I know early reviews, because it has been shown in some LA early releases, you know, for critics and such. People say it's scary as hell.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Nicolas Cage has said that he's based his performance on Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. So, and Tiny Tim, the weird fucking singer from way back when.
So he's gonna have a voice.
He does. Yeah. Apparently his voice is like, oh, I'm Tiny Tim. Yeah, that's gonna be scary as shit. The trailers are masterpieces. Hey, all studios make trailers like these. Ones that make me really, really want to see the movie, but don't tell me a whole lot about what happens in the movie. That's the way.
Yeah, think sort of I don't know, cinematography wise, how do you explain the way that this film is laid out visually? Like what's that show, Mindhunter on Netflix? It has a little bit of that vibe, you know. It looks, I mean, it takes place in the 90s, so I think it's going to have a little bit of a grittier quality to it, a little bit darker scenes, not as polished and flashy.
Yeah, like if you watched Silence of the Lambs like me and said, this was really good, but I wish there was more Satanism in it, this seems like it's finally scratching that itch.
Yeah. Or I want to spend more time with Clarice and Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Like that hunt. Less Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, more like the last 10 minutes of the movie, but all the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait. Osgood Perkins is such a fantastically talented writer and director, and this seems, I think he's mentioned it's a bit personal for him. He's exercising some demons of his own and, you know, personal things that scare him. So
yeah, I mean,
God,
he grew up in the industry as the child of a extremely famous actor.
And who was most well known for playing a horror role. I mean, Anthony Perkins played a lot of roles in a lot of movies, but I think we all basically remember him as being Norman Bates.
Yeah, and also like very gender bending.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Oz Perkins himself is openly gay.
Yeah. So also, if it's like Buffalo Bill, gender bending,
absolutely.
You know,
which was very controversial when both the novel and the movie came out.
Of course.
Jonathan Demme talked about that a lot, saying he later understood, but at the time he really didn't have an account of how that might be interpreted by the trans community, and he did apologize for that later. I will say, having read the book and the movie, it's handled with much more care in the book than it was in the movie.
Yeah. And I would say that
Harris goes to great lengths to explain that Buffalo Bill is a aberration and a deviant, not the typical of the trans experience, whereas the movie sort of expects the audience to know that, which in the early 90s, I mean, we don't fucking know that now. So
well, I think, you know, a lot of early exploration existed in a way that created a little bit more troublesome, like
best intentions, but the execution is sloppy,
like Boys Don't Cry
or
The Crying Game,
Cruising with Al Pacino. That's a oof. Yikes.
To Wong Fu.
You're welcome. It was To Wong Fu. Thanks for everything,
Julie Newmar.
Yeah. Anyway, that was interesting. My next one is a book, but don't worry, folks. It's a manga. So I am talking about,
because you don't read.
Yes, because I am illiterate. So Ali from horror master Junji Ito of Japan, coming out July 23rd.
As in like alley that you walk down?
Yes. like an alley cat.
Not like ALL.
Like if someone had, say, the
name.
morality of an alley cat, that's an expression we all use and understand, and especially the young voters would definitely rally behind. Thanks for relating to us. So
Yeah.
Alley by Junji
Justice
Ito.
for alley cats.
Cool. Oh, everything's going to be great. So Alley it's not necessarily a new collection from Ito because he is a Japanese writer and it takes a while for us gaijin to get his cool shit. So this is a collection of mostly previously unreleased to Western audiences stories, but it's new to me, so I'm really excited. Now, everything Junji Ito does is great. Just, I shouldn't even need to recommend this, folks. You should already be buying everything this man does. He is the master creator behind Gyo, Tomi, my favorite, Uzumaki. Just, I mean, it's very hard for some reason for people to get cosmic horror, right? That H.P. Lovecraft kind of sense of wrongness and strangeness and cosmic insignificance in the eyes of vengeful gods beyond our comprehension. And Junji Ito is the absolute fucking undisputed master of it. His stories leave you haunted. It's like by reading them, you're cursed. I can't forget
Amazing.
his imagery, his writing, the themes explored are very common, especially in Japanese horror. A lot of things about identity, isolation, social connection, the old ideas clashing with modern civilization, East versus West, that sort of thing. But my gosh, there's just something about the way his writing is so perfectly complemented by his singular visual style, his artistry. It's just the best. It's so creepy. It's so scary. Now, this book is a collection of so Uzumaki and a lot of his works, there's like vignettes and stories, but they're sort of connected. I think this is a little bit more disparate, like short stories. There's an ice cream truck that is more sinister than it seems, which I assume is all ice cream trucks. A young woman's family starts acting strangely at the same time she begins having weird dreams. It all like very vague descriptions. The sound of children playing outside a boarding house, except there's no one out there. So Ito really does play with a sense of wrongness, a sense of the uncanny valley, the strange, weird noises, shadows from the corner of your eye, and then leading to like a crazy denouement where you see the most obscene, horrific, mind-melting thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But he's really good at chipping away at his characters and the reader's sense of safety and sanity, and then hits you with something that is so grotesque that your mind just like seizes up. It's just the best. I can't recommend it enough. Alley, July 23rd. It's nightmare fuel. It really is. It is very scary stuff, and I love it to pieces because there's something wrong with me.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm glad you finally are admitting it.
Oh, no,
Now
I've always been pretty open about that.
Everybody can feel good that he's finally opening.
No, there's no final about it.
No, they finally can feel good about you admitting.
No one should ever feel good around me.
Let's take a break.
Yay!
Are you tired of being told to calm down? Annoyed at no one believing you when you say you see someone outside, or in the house, or following you home? Finally, a solution for you to prove once and for all you got this. Introducing Final Girl CBD Seltzer. FG CBD Seltzer combines everything you love about that sparkly, bubbly treat with the calming and focused effect of cannabidiol. With just one 12-ounce can of FG CBD, you can make it through every bump in the night, hysterical frenemy outburst, inappropriate or unwanted romantic overtures, and jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. Try our enticing flavors like Redemption Raspberry, Exhausted by Elderberry, Extra Virgin Mary, and Mellow Melon Maniac. With each sip, feel all of the nonsense coming from those around you melt away while you figure out how to get yourself out of this fucking nightmare. This is a fake ad for a fake product. horror-themed podcast. We do not make this amazing sounding seltzer for any reason, but if we did, this would be a great niche market. But we don't, and most likely won't. And we're back.
Oh, we sure are, folks. And let me tell you something about being back. It includes us.
Well, my next is also a movie.
Oh.
It's a Shudder exclusive. Coming out on July 19th, and it's called Oddity.
Oh, yes. I have heard of this.
Yeah, so it's Irish writer-director Damien McCarthy. It's his second theatrical film. He released Caveat in 2020, I believe.
Yeah, that is a weird little gem of a movie. It's on Shudder. Check it out. It's something. I loved it, but it's weird.
So Oddity is the winner of the Midnighter Audience Award at South by Southwest.
Ooh, like that.
And the Audience Award for Best Feature at the Overlook Film Festival.
Nice.
So I think that this is going to be a pretty good one. It stars Gwendolyn Lee, who he's in a bunch of stuff, but most recently he's been in the full 3 seasons of the show The Great with the Fanning and the Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, that's the one about the Catherine the Great?
Yes.
Right? Okay, sure.
Carolyn
I watched that.
Bracken and Tadig Murphy, who was in The Northman.
Oh, yeah.
One of my,
fuck yeah.
I love that movie so
God
much.
damn it.
So just a brief synopsis is when Danny is brutally murdered at a remote country house that she and her husband Ted are renovating, everyone suspects a patient from the local mental health institution where Ted is a doctor. However, soon after the tragic killing, the suspect is found dead. A year later, Danny's blind twin sister Darcy, a self-proclaimed psychic and collector of cursed items, and I think the director does, Caveat is also a cursed item. So she's a self-proclaimed...
We also here at Tarantinum do love curses.
We do.
God,
Self-proclaimed psychic and collector of cursed items pays an unexpected visit to Ted and his new girlfriend. Convinced that there was more to her sister's murder than they know, Darcy has brought with her the most dangerous items from her cursed collection to help exact revenge.
So it's like that weird room in the Ed and Lorraine Warren's house. Yeah.
So it's a supernatural thriller, gothic. It like takes place at a dark and stormy night. It's Irish folk horror meets home invasion.
Hell yeah.
I just want to tell you what the opening scene, the beginning is, because it's all revealed in the plot anyway. So Danny's twin sister, Danny is the woman. So Danny's home alone while her doctor husband Ted works a night shift at a psychiatric hospital. A strange man missing an eye shows up at her door. He claims not to be a threat and informs the resident that someone else who's trying to hurt her is already inside. So that's really how it kicks off.
That's a tough way to start your night.
So we know that she's murdered.
Where's your eye, buddy?
But what is it? Who is it? Is it him? Is it someone that's already inside?
Is
anyway,
he
we're
Odin?
going to find out.
Yeah.
With Oddity on July 19th on our beloved Shudder.
Oh, Shudder. You just keep giving. Just quick one about that. You and I we've joined the churn. We're now doing one subscription service at a time and just going fucking hog wild on it. Yeah. See,
it's like as they fade out, another emerges.
Yeah.
And then we end that one.
Well, here's the thing. There's so much shit that if you have like 5 or 6 of them going, you don't end up watching some of them even an entire month, but you still paid for it. So that being said, Shudder is the one exception. We always keep Shudder. Shudder is always there.
Yeah,
Shudder
we keep
waits
Peacock.
for us.
No, Paramount.
We do?
Yeah,
I care less about that.
$6.
I care less about that
my-
and more
some of
about
my
Shudder.
shows.
This is about Shudder and not your fucking truly horrifying reality TV shows that scare me endlessly.
It's not just reality, and John Lovett is going to be on this next season of Survivor.
Wonderful.
So
I
let's
wonder if he
see.
makes it.
I don't know. No one knows. I mean, I'm sure people closest to him do.
You mean he's dead?
No, he's alive,
Oh.
but
I mean, that show's called Survivor. I think it's kind of lame that everyone lives. It's like, okay. So what did you survive exactly? No one has died from this. Anyway,
They have, though. I
I'm
think
still
people
pitching.
have died.
I'm still pitching Battle
Not
Royale.
on the island, though.
Battle Royale America version. Anyway, is it my turn?
I guess.
It is, isn't it? Goodness gracious. I'm going to go, since, you just went with Irish folk tales, I'm going to go with also the British Isles folk horror. And I'm talking Starve Acre, everybody, coming July 26th in theaters. That is by director Daniel Kokotaljo. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's their debut, I believe. Or, no, excuse me, second film. Follow-up, their first one was Apostasy. So Starve Acre stars Morfydd Clark, who we loved in Saint Maud, and Matt Smith,
Yeah.
who everybody knows only from the movie Morbius.
Well, he's been,
Nope, he's
he was
only
Prince
been in
Philip.
Morbius. He's only
He was
been in
Prince
Morbius.
Philip.
I don't know any of those things.
He was in His House, which I think you liked
It's very
a
good.
lot.
Yeah, it was also The Doctor. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's in House of the Dragon
Yeah,
right
with
now.
long hair and having sex with relatives.
And he is an 11th. It's Matt Smith, the 11th.
What?
Yeah. It's after his name on IMDb.
Fucking
Matt Smith,
British
parentheses XI, which is 11, right?
It is, right?
Yeah.
It's just that it's not his lineage it's so much as he is one of at least 11 Matt Smiths registered as actors.
Name the other
No, I'm just
10 Matt
on IMDb
Smiths.
when they put
I know
11 after that, but you said it like he was Matthew Smith, the 11th
that's
of
how
like
you interpret
Devonshire. Okay. Anyway, so Matt Smith is
No, what we're going to do is we're going to open the phone lines and we're going to have people call in to identify the other 10 Matt Smiths.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've received so many calls in this award-winning award-winning episode that the phone lines have exploded. So anyway, Matt Smith and Morfydd Clark, they are a married couple that move into the delightfully named English estate Starve Acre, which is a place I'd like to live. So it's in the moors, and they're gonna, grow stuff. And I think it takes place in the 70s. Looks like it from the trailer. So could just be England. They, unfortunately, their dreams are kind of dashed when their little boy Owen dies, which does dash dreams. So they do what any grieving couple would do, and they make friends with a cult. So this weird, Northern English cult, which is the greatest place to have a cult because you get the best accents. There's just something about describing evil things in like a heavy Northern English brogue that it just makes it work. So they hang out with this cult, and the cult gives them ideas, and Matt Smith starts to go real weird. He gets like quiet and aggressive and starts digging in the backyard, digging, looking for an ancient legendary oak tree. I'm guessing to resurrect his son. That's what I got. But he starts to go crazy. The cult starts to become more ingrained in their lives. Morfydd Clark is being gaslit and isolated. It's all the classic elements of folk horror. There's weird medieval drawings, Northern English accents, a cult, fucked up woodland creatures, somebody going crazy while the other person asks, "Why are you going crazy?" Don't mean to make light. This is exactly my jam. Mm-hmm. English folk horror is 100% my thing. I love Morfydd Clark and Matt Smith.
Your biscuits and jam, if you will.
Yes.
Because it is British.
It is my hibiscus and jam. I am so excited about this because, yeah, like I said, it's everything. But I will say Matt Smith turning into an evil, crazy person in this movie is not surprising to me, as his character's name is Richard. And that should be a fucking red flag to any of you out there. Starve Acre. It looks exactly like the kind of slow burn, feel like shit at the end of it, soul crusher that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Because again,
I let you watch on your own.
Because there is something extremely wrong with me.
Yeah. Maybe you should go by Ditchard.
Really afraid. It's Mitchard Rathiason. Thank you.
So my last recommendation
July 26th.
is a book. Of course, I can't let a month go by without recommending.
Yes, of course, because I know how to read, but I learned how to read. I'm so great.
The phone lines are are lighting up with
So our sound
police distress
technician
calls.
has fixed the phone lines, and they are now just popping off.
Apologies to everybody for annoying you with all this phone line chatter.
Ma
Anyway,
Bell has sent us
so
a
my
cease and
last
desist.
recommendation is a book coming out July 16th called I Was a Teenage Slasher. And it's by Stephen Graham Jones.
I think I know
And
where this
for
is going.
Any of you that have listened to this podcast, you know how much I love Stephen Graham Jones. I'd love to see, different writers emerging in the horror genre, that we don't have the same recycled types of folks. That I like how he can bring his own Native American experience to horror, which is really unique. And I think it's
Listen.
something that we haven't seen before.
My favorite American author is whoever James Patterson currently has chained in his basement.
So he's a New York Times best-selling horror writer, and he's the author of The Only Good Indians, and has been an NEA Fellowship recipient, and has also received Ray Bradbury Award and Bram Stoker Award and Shirley Jackson Award. So
Ooh.
he's got some
The
chops.
BBJ.
So just going to give you a synopsis of this book. It takes place in 1989. Lemsa, Texas, a small West Texas town driven by oil and cotton,
I'm already afraid.
and a place where everybody knows everybody else's business. I mean, it's really sounds very familiar to me. So it goes for Tolly Driver, a good kid with more potential than application, 17 and about to be cursed to kill for revenge.
Uh-oh.
Stephen Graham Jones explores the Texas he grew up in, the unfairness of being treated on the outside, and he uses the slasher horror he loves, but from the perspective of the slasher.
Ooh, that's been it seems like it's been a trend lately in A Violent Nature this year, exploring slashers from the perspective
I mean, you
of the
probably
slasher.
could have figured out I Was a Teenage Slasher from the title that it is about, from the perspective. So
I mean, it's also a
Tolly
play on the
essentially
on
is
the old
writing,
Michael Landon film I Was a Teenage Werewolf.
Yeah. Tolly is essentially writing his own autobiography here. And it's interesting because you'll see the difficulty of how this teenager was pushed to become what he became. And it's a summer teen movie of a novel. And it's really tragic. And of course, it's going to be violent and bloody. So I Was a Teenage Slasher. Check it out. Or check out any Stephen Graham Jones books.
Yeah.
He does also
In
have
between
an
Junji Ito.
Indian Lake trilogy out.
This
in
is not
its
part of
completion.
that, though, right?
No, this is not part of it.
This is just part of the slasher verse.
Maybe. I mean, let's see what happens to Tolly at the end.
Ah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I am really looking forward to July because it's a great month where great people are born.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I haven't met any yet.
Oh, I know of at least one. But I also...
I haven't met anyone.
I'm really looking
gonna
forward-
stick to it. That's my last word on that. July birthdays, haven't met any good ones.
I'm really looking forward to basically everything. Now, I know you did Long Legs, and listeners probably wondering why a Nicolas Cage movie is coming out that I didn't get to do. Well, I've been spending a lot of time locked in the cellar lately, and...
It's the basement, first of all. It's not a cellar.
Sorry. That's
And
just more basement time for
you're
me.
free to go
So
at any time.
I'm
If-
super psyched about Long Legs especially,
You
but
get
there's a
the
lot of great
password.
shit coming out in July and in August, but we will talk about that in
And
a few
I'll
weeks.
see Maxine.
Mm,
Everyone.
Will you?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it looks good. I love serial killers.
Hell yeah, it's amazing. I can't wait.
You know how I feel about serial killers.
And you know how I feel about the Exiverse.
I know.
Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful month.
Bye.
Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Sispanik. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening. And please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. We're standing right behind you.